Hi, Max here with FrizWoods, and in this video I'm going to be talking about second DUI and DWI offenses here in Maryland. If you are watching this video, chances are you or someone you love was recently charged with their second drunk driving, driving under the influence, or driving while impaired charge here in Maryland. I'm first going to talk about some of the increased penalties that you might be facing, then we'll talk about some general advice on how to move forward in court this time around. Let's first talk about those increased penalties. If you have a previous conviction for a DUI, driving under the influence, or DWI, driving while impaired charge, then you do face enhanced penalties this time around. If your previous case resulted in a probation before judgment, these enhanced penalties might not apply to you. So, for a driving under the influence charge, any prior driving while under the influence or driving while impaired will bump the maximum penalty of your new case from 1 year for a DUI to 2 years. And for a driving while impaired charge, the maximum penalty will jump from 60 days to 1 year. These maximum penalty increases don't end with increases in more points at the MVA, but this time around you're less likely to receive a probation before judgment. If you had received one before, you may not even be eligible anymore, but certainly less likely to receive a probation before judgment, so points are a certain consideration when it comes to how your case might resolve. How do I deal with court? The stakes always get higher with each subsequent DUI or DWI offense that you're facing. So if you have 2 or 3 priors, you're certainly in a worse spot than you were for your first time around. Many judges in Maryland offer suspended sentences and probationary sentences in lieu of incarceration for first-time DUI offenders. However, this time, if you have a prior offense, it's more likely that you might go to jail this time around. It's not guaranteed though, and this is where planning and doing the work ahead of court may come in the clutch for you at a potential sentencing. So, if you intend to litigate the case, the stakes are certainly higher this time. The state of Maryland will probably seek incarceration, which will increase the likelihood that you might want to consider something like a trial. If you're going to go to trial, you can watch some of my other videos. We talk about how to beat a DUI case, both factual and legal defenses that might apply to your case. If you're looking to resolve the case, you still don't want to get incarcerated, you may want to look at some inpatient treatment option or more intensive outpatient options to try to convince a court that you're not a candidate for incarceration, rather that you've been rehabilitated while you're in the community and you should stay that way, either to continue your rehabilitation or continue your sobriety. How do you keep your license ahead of court? If you've previously done the ignition interlock, you may have to spend longer on the ignition interlock. And this is really a case-dependent issue because it depends on if your last DUI, if you refused, gave a breath sample over 0.08, perhaps under 0.08, over 0.15, opted into ignition interlock, had a 16205.1 hearing. There's so many different things that could have happened with respect to your license. That's very hard for me to give you blanket advice on how to deal with the MVA for a second DUI. What I can say is this: if you have a prior DUI offense, whether it was a conviction or a probation before judgment, the stakes will certainly be higher this time around if it's your second, third, perhaps fourth, or even fifth offense. It's very important that you speak with a qualified criminal defense attorney. Feel free to give us a call if you want to talk about your case here in Maryland. Thanks.